Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, we're starting chapter 4 of Ephesians today, and we're going to be looking at verse 1 of Ephesians 4:1. And it's entitled, Live a Life Worthy of Your Calling. All right, so let's read. If you have your Bibles like I do, you can turn in them to Ephesians 4, verse 1. It says this, As a prisoner for the Lord, then, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. That's it. How about that? So Paul is saying here, he starts out as a prisoner for the Lord. Notice he's not saying I'm a prisoner of Rome, but he's saying I'm a prisoner for the Lord. A prisoner for the Lord because he's serving the Lord. That's why he's in prison, okay? And he's making the most of his time in prison as he serves the Lord, okay? And probably if he would have just quit serving the Lord, he could probably go free from prison. But that's not what Paul is choosing to do. So he's saying, as a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received, okay? So living a life worthy of the calling you have received, when we look at that and we see the calling, a lot of times we think, oh, the calling, I'm called to be a pastor, I'm called to be, to be a metal worker, whatever your occupation is, be a doctor, or nurse, or teacher, whatever. But that's not what it's talking about, okay? And remember, Ephesians is all tied together here. And so you have to look back at what the calling was. Now, the calling is really the gospel. We are all called to serve Jesus. And so in the gospel is us, our relationship with Jesus. Okay. So Paul is saying, I want you to walk worthy of the gospel. Okay. And you are really, you're a representative of the gospel. So if you go and are, living, claim to be a Christian, but you're living like the world, people are like, I don't get it. You call yourself a Christian, but you're living like the world. Okay. And so that Paul is saying, you need to walk worthy of that calling of the gospel. Okay. You're an ambassador. You're representing the gospel of God, gospel of Jesus. So when an ambassador, we've been to Cuba, and we were in an area where there was many embassies and many ambassadors. And the ambassadors, let's say there was an ambassador from Jamaica there in Cuba, okay? Well, the ambassador was there to represent the country of Jamaica, okay? And so if the rulers had a problem with what was happening, or if Jamaica had a problem with Cuba, they would send the ambassador, okay? And that was a representative. We are an ambassador for Christ. We represent Christ. And Paul says, walk worthy of that, okay? And so he's going to say, and we're going to get to this in the next episodes here. If you go into verse 2, he's going to say, these are the things you need to do to walk worthy of that. You need to have a life characterized by humility. You need to have a life characterized by gentleness. You need to have a life characterized by patience. And you need to have a life characterized by love, really. Loving, bearing with one another in love, okay? And so it's all, but then you look further, and part of that calling too is also a church. We're called to have a church, be a part of the church, but the church is made up of people, but the people are supposed to be pure and have unity too. Okay, so Paul is saying, he goes on to talk about that. He'll go on to talk about the purity that you need to have, and naturally when I sin, I can be forgiven, but I don't, have my life's goal is to commit every sin. Okay, I'm trying to walk as pure as I can. All right, and then trying to walk also in as much unity as possible too. Okay, so that's the thing. Paul says He's from prison there, and he says, I urge you, like he's begging us, walk worthy of your calling. Okay? So walk worthy of the gospel. Be a good ambassador. All right? Thanks for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Ephesians. And we're looking at Ephesians 4, chapter 4, verse 2 for the next few days as we talk about each one of those things there. All right, thanks. We'll see you then.